Hey everybody, it's Stephanie Sherwood with the Tapestry Network, popping in to do Stephanie's Snippets. This is actually week 4 of this reboot that I used to do years ago, and it's just been an interesting month. It's hard to believe that 30 days have already happened, and so much has taken place in 30 days. And one of the things I wanted to say today was, it's okay to just be you. Be you. Be the you God created you to be. I have a dear, sweet friend who really, I just watched her, kind of keeping up with what's out there. And she did an amazing job and a beautiful job of showing up and being real and being true and being authentic. She never shied away from that. But it was the fact that she just felt like she had to, right? That comparison of, if she wasn't showing up, what was she going to be missing out on? What were people going to be thinking about her? And I so admire her. She's just 30, and she's got 2 beautiful boys, and and being an influencer has always been something that's been important to her. And she loves Jesus. She loves to point people to the Lord. And sometimes it's really hard to take that step back when you have that desire, but social media isn't always for everybody all the time, just as everything isn't always for everybody all the time. And so I posted something in our daily thread yesterday or the day before, and it was a quote. I have no idea who wrote it. I found it. I posted it. If things don't add up, start subtracting. And it created this really interesting dialogue, which is what I was hoping it would do. And so, yeah, if things aren't adding up, sometimes that means we have to subtract things. We also just finished, we at church on Sunday, we're in a 3-week sermon series, and it was this trying versus training and what that means and the perspective and the mindset shift. And I'll be honest, I've been sitting here for 5 days, so all Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's now day 5, and I haven't made any changes yet, but I've been very contemplative about what that means. And one of the things that I have shared often was I have this desire, this love to, embrace a calendar, and, how much more efficient that's going to make me, as a woman and as a wife and a mom and, as a business owner. And I'm going to sit with it for a little bit longer. I know the value of it, and I want to train to use it. And that was one of the things that was so important, is if we don't go into training mode before we start something, how successful are we going to be? And then there's the other side of it, the trying. What Pastor Groeschel had said was, trying is basically just saying you're setting yourself up for failure or to not succeed. And I know that's a pretty broad statement, but there's a lot of truth to that. And he shared an analogy, which, he's not the only one that has shared this analogy, and it gets used a lot. You train for a marathon, and there's a lot of steps that go into training for a marathon. You don't just walk up to the starting line having done nothing and say, I'm going to run my 26.2 miles today. That's just not the way it works. But I believe the difference between a trying mindset and a training mindset is, with training, there's a different level of commitment. And I also believe there's a different level of grace. And so I know that we can be, or I should say I'm projecting me onto you, and I don't want to do that. So for me, grace does not come easy. And the enemy will use that against us, right? And so when I'm trying, I'm giving the enemy all kinds of little cracks into, what I'm doing or what I'm trying to be doing. And I'm not setting myself up for grace. What I'm setting myself up for is failure. Now, if I take the mindset approach of training says, I don't know how to do it yet, or I don't know how to do it as well as I should yet. So training gives me that space to say, it's okay. It's okay. I still have things to learn. And so that creates for me that space of grace where I do get to show up and I do get to do my due diligence and my best foot forward and all of that. And I just have to share this story because it was hysterical. While he was giving his sermon, he was sharing that he just had started doing a martial arts, and I don't remember which one it was. And he's training with some really awesome young 20 somethings, and he's in his 50s. And he's like, what I'm doing is I am winning. I am winning. And that's what he is in his brain, because he is winning. He's winning in so many different ways. He says now, but what the reality is that I've got 20-year-old somethings, sitting on my head. And so in that perspective, I am so not winning, but I'm winning because I showed up. I'm winning because I tried. I'm winning because I shouldn't say tried. He's training. I'm winning because I'm here again. I'm winning because I took another step further in my training. I'm winning because, I showed up again, and I'm winning because I took another step in my training. And if we could take that perspective of the win, right? We know there is so much power in the win. And, that goes back to, Paul says, we train to win. We run the race to win the race. And that, I know that can sometimes seem like super competitive and, oh my goodness, as a Christian woman, I shouldn't be that competitive. But I think it's, again, the way you look at it. Jesus, he ran to win the race, and he did. And so being created in his image, being created in the image of God, I am created to win the race. And because I have chosen Jesus, I have already won the race, right? So what if I took that approach, again, not to be mean or hurtful or to take anybody out, but I'm going to win the race for him. And I'm going to do it with love and kindness and grace and mercy and forgiveness. But I'm going to run the race to win. I'm going to run it to do my best, right? To co-labor with him, so that when I get to heaven, I get to hear, well done, good and faithful servant. And so, take that, sit with that. Because like I said, I've been sitting with it for 5 days. I'm getting excited about it again. But sometimes when there's some big things that need to be done, you can't just, step into it. Like if I decided today that I was going to train for a marathon, I couldn't just train tomorrow. I'd have to do some research, and I would have to make sure I had the right shoes, and I was eating properly, and I was hydrating properly, and sleeping well. There's just so much that goes into it. So know that when you take the position to train, that you're taking the position to win. And if we can get rid of the trying and change it out for the training, and up our level of commitment to whatever it is that God, and always seeking him first, is asking us to truly do, to be in his will, walking in his spirit, doing what he's asked us to do as a sign of worship, being obedient. Imagine what we could do, ladies. And what I am going to say is, you will do it well if you're in community. There's just so much power in community. And I cannot imagine life without sisterhood, and I cannot imagine life without community. So again, a couple challenges today. Sit and think about the difference between trying and training. Maybe look up the words, do some research, and then know that if you have some struggles, how are you showing up? Where's your support? Where's your encouragement? Who's elevating you? Who's empowering you? Again, we can only do so much on our own. And yeah, we can do a lot with the Holy Spirit on our own too. But again, I say this all the time. We were designed in the image of God, and God is community. So therefore, we are called to be in community. So find your peeps and enjoy life. Do it well, and do it. Run the race and do it well. Train to win. So that's Stephanie signing off for now. Bye.